I mean, look, we work with our customers, we work with their product owners to understand the product carefully and the way in which the product is intended to work, the way in which a consumer would engage with it. We design the digital experience around that. You know, consumer duty is important and it's relevant. You know, I mean, you were talking about the cost of living crisis, and so that puts more emphasis on ensuring that the product is being presented in the right way, that the customer really understands the nature of the product, and the provider of the product really understands the customer as well. And I think the digital experience lends itself to that. It means that the digital experience can be offering the questions that need to be put to the customer. The product is being fairly represented, properly represented. The questions are being asked, the data is being collected, so that an institution like Cambridge and Counties can evidence to the regulator that all the right things were said and done. And that's fantastic. But I think that's the benefit again to the consumer, that through a digital experience you can consistently present the product, consistently. And particularly for a digital institution where there are no branches, no people that need to be trained, so they consistently present it. It's all through a multi-channel digital experience. So I think consumer duty, we're talking to all of our customers about it and how they need to implement it. It affects the digital experience, but I think it's good news. It's great news for consumers.
One of the things we talked about was the vulnerability. How does digital cover that? I've always been intrigued, and with relatively elderly parents, the whole digital transformation over the last few years is challenging. How's digital evolving to?
I think, look, it's on a number of different levels. I think institutions are beginning to think about vulnerability, their customers, and the categories of vulnerability. This is something that central government look at and some other institutions, because vulnerability means many different things. And so for an institution, a financial services institution, to begin to look at their customer base and capture vulnerability in whatever context is meaningful to the end customer. A digital experience helps you to do that. It's very difficult to do it mandronically, isn't it? That's one of the levels. Reflecting that in the product and in the nature of the product, design of the product and the way it's being presented. I mean, if you understand the categories of vulnerability and you can harvest that information from consumers, you can then position a slightly different product that meets that particular set of requirements. So it's no longer about a single generic product. I know your business has different products. I think in the future we'll see many, many different flavors of a single product that suits different categories of consumers and different types of vulnerability. And the digital experience facilitates that, makes it easier, really. So we're going to see that as time goes on. We're going to see that. And that data can be captured now through a digital experience, but more importantly can be built into the product and then presented back to the consumer. Well, I think you start with the consumer and to capture the data, to harvest the data in the first place. And I think once you do that, you might learn something about your customer base that you didn't know before. And it will then begin to inform the way in which you design and build products for consumers, for the marketplace. And I think that's what digital is doing. It's helping institutions move away from a generalized product offering to a particular product offering for a particular type of person with vulnerability or whatever else that means.
Going down the digital road can be expensive, time-consuming. It can be quite taxing for a company. They might not have the expertise. Where do you go? What do you do? What are the options available for a company looking to address these needs that they're having?
For any activity and product, they've got to have a clear idea of what they're looking to achieve and what they want. They don't necessarily have to have the direct experience, as you say, in-house, but they have to have a clear understanding of requirements. And then there are various players that they can go to. I mean, obviously, some of the big consultancy businesses and firms have very strong digital teams. with a lot of experience that they can bring to bear, guiding organisations through the selection of the right solutions and the right partners to work with to deliver digital solutions. Obviously, bringing people in-house is a solution, but it limits your capability quite a lot in terms of the skill sets that you buy in, and it can be very expensive. And the flexibility of going out into the marketplace to organisations like ieDigital, you're getting the benefit of people who are working on it day in, day out, who are getting experience from a wide range of providers within a category and incorporating best practice into a lot of what they do. And they can also buy in the right talent and expertise, and probably spread the cost of that talent, because it is expensive, across a wider range of customers, adding value to an enterprise by going to a third party. So yes, you need some knowledge in-house. You have to have a CIO generally who knows the marketplace and what to do. There are a range of consultants and specialists who can help guide you on the way, plus a huge range of third-party providers, or you can go down the bespoke route with a completely in-house team. But I think the general conclusion for a lot of solutions is that those tend to take longer, cost more in the long run, and probably are less flexible and adaptive in their solution.